This is just a very quick kind of overview of the campus. There's no speech or anything. It's just over a minute long, and it just gives you an overview. We're very proud of our beautiful green campus. And I think this was shot in the summer because it's got a beautiful blue sky. Sadly, not present today, but it just goes to show it doesn't always rain in the UK. So give me a second. I'll just share my screen and then we can start. Hello everybody, good morning to you all. It's evening here in London. My name is Rhiann and I work at the Study Abroad office of St Mary's University in Twickenham. Over the next 10 to 15 minutes I'll tell you a little bit about studying abroad with us. I'll answer the questions at the end if that's all right, because what you're going to ask may come up in the presentation. So I'll start off with a quote from one of our study abroad students from last year. Sadly, the largest cohort we had last year had to leave early because of COVID. So the favourite thing about being at St Mary's was the beautiful people that I met. These friendships will last a lifetime and I'm truly thankful for them. That's one of the recurring themes we find when we ask students for feedback when they go home from their semester abroad. What stays with them? Oh, hang on a minute, there's a couple more coming in. What stays with them is the people that they meet and the friendships that they make. It comes up over and over again when we ask people for feedback. So right, let's go on to a little bit about the history of the university. So this is our campus here. The university was founded in 1850 and it was founded as a teacher training college. It was built from this little bit here, the white building at the end was Strawberry Hill House, and so it built out from there. We're the oldest Catholic university in the UK, and we're a very friendly campus, and we're quite small in terms of UK universities. There's about 5,500 students on campus, studying 150 approximately undergrad and postgraduate degrees. The university campus is pretty much in the middle of that screen. It includes the running track. It doesn't quite go down to the river, but the river you see on the top there is the River Thames. As you can see, it's a very green, leafy area. It's a very, very safe location. Lots of families live nearby. So we're sort of midway between Heathrow and central London. So we've got the best of both worlds, really. Here are some pictures of campus. The bottom right there is Strawberry Hill House, which is the original building. The one above then is one of the newest buildings, which is the sports centre. And on the top left here is one of the buildings that was built after Strawberry Hill House. So they're still one of the oldest buildings in the university. We've also got an additional site where there are a lot more, we got football pitches, hockey pitches, so there's a lot more facilities sports wise, about 1.5 miles away. Right, so in terms of location, I've already mentioned it's a very green area. The map on the left here will show you where Heathrow Airport is, which is on the sort of southwest part of London. And St Mary's is about midway between Heathrow and central London. We're about half an hour train ride away from central London. I'm just going to mention here that being in London, we tend to use public transport quite a lot. It's very safe. And I know that possibly where you're from in Arizona, you tend to rely on cars a little bit more. In central London, it's perfectly safe to take the tube, the buses, the trains. You'll find that most people who are working people take public transport. So it's perfectly safe. I would take precautions in the evening, for example, but it's a perfectly safe way to travel. Now, the map here on the right as well shows where we are in relation to some sort of touristy places in central London. There's Madame Tussauds on there, St Paul's Cathedral. The Palace of Westminster is actually the House of Commons, which is where our government sits. So you may recognise those reference points from movies or whatever, even if you haven't been over to the UK. So we're based down in sort of the southwest corner here. And there's some touristy shots here of London. So when you get the train from Strawberry Hill, which is the train station nearest to campus, the train station in central London that you'll get into is very close to where the photos here on the top left, which is the London Eye and the House of Commons. And so as soon as you're in, basically, you'll see all the sort of sites that you should recognise. There's the iconic red telephone box. There aren't so many around these days, but I think a few of them have remain in order for sort of tourists to take loads of photos, etc. And there's a view here of some of the newer buildings in the city here. Tower Bridge you may recognise here on the bottom right, and there is the House of Commons and the tower where Big Ben is housed. So it's very easy to get in to central London. You can visit all the galleries, all the main sites are within easy distance. On a Saturday morning, I would suggest you just buy yourself a travel card and then just go in and see what you can find. London can be very expensive, but it doesn't have to be very expensive. You don't have to have a massive budget. For example, one of my sort of favourite things to do, which doesn't cost a huge amount of money, is when you get into the train, when you get out of the train in London Waterloo, there's a lovely walk along the river which takes in Shakespeare's Globe. You can see St Paul's Cathedral, the London Eye, and it's just a great time. It's just a great walk along the river. Lots of street artists, etc. as well. It's quite a buzzy place, so it's a lovely place to go and visit. So here are some pictures of our sort of local community, really. We're based in Twickenham, which is in southwest London, as I've mentioned. It's one of the safest boroughs in London. The picture on the top left-hand corner here is in Richmond, which is about 5 minutes up the road from where I live here. The River Thames goes through it. It's a beautiful, beautiful little town. It's got Richmond Park up on the hill. There's Twickenham, which is about 5 minutes walk from campus. There's beautiful little shops in there. This deer lives in Bushy Park, which is the closest park to campus. Down here in the bottom right is Richmond Bridge. And then down here on the bottom here is Hampton Court Palace, which is very close to campus again, which was Henry VIII's. Well, it's party house, really. It's a beautiful building. It's got some amazing gardens, and there's a maze there as well. So if you're interested in history, that's definitely something that you need to stick on your bucket list before you come. Right, so the orientation and the social programme. There's a few things to remember at the moment. With COVID, we have to be a little bit more flexible in our approach. We don't know what's going to happen in September yet, what the arrangements will be, but we will keep you informed, and we'll do everything we can to make your experiences brilliant as possible. There will always, however, be a free pickup service from Heathrow Airport. So when we confirm to you the International Arrivals Day, I would recommend that you book onto the arrival service. It's free. Somebody will meet you at the airport and bring you onto campus, where you will get your keys to your housing and get given details of orientation. So I would thoroughly recommend you do that. And also, when you've been flying in on a long flight, the last thing you want to do is find a cab or a way to get into university when you're not familiar with where you're going. We also offer walking tours of central London and the local area as well, as part of our international orientation programme. So you can familiarise yourself with what the local area's got. And we also partner with a company called Someplace New, who offers a really wonderful social programme throughout the semester that you can sign up for separately. So if you want to go travelling to Paris, for example, they organise trips as well. So you don't have to do solo travelling. You can go with them. And our UK-based social programmes, including trips to the West End, which currently close, unfortunately, but hopefully it'll open within the next month or so. I think that's when the theatres are going to open. There's boat trips, a trip to Stonehenge, Bath and Wales, where the best people are from. Right, so here's another testimonial from a student from last year. You see a group of them. This is Windsor Castle, where they went, and it's a very short train ride away. From St Peter's University. He said he worked with amazing professors, and he met lots of amazing people, and he did quite a few trips around the UK and overseas as well. And also, I need to mention that we're the #1 university for teaching satisfaction. So whilst you're all having a good time, you also don't forget that you're here to do some studying as well. So you're in good hands in terms of the teaching staff at St Mary's. So in terms of the academics, most study abroad students take 3 or 4 modules, just depending what the requirement is. You can choose from a lot of our courses. The modules that are available to you for semester 1 and 2 next year are online now. So if you can go onto our website, or you can just Google St Mary's University Twickenham modules, it'll take you to the right page. But they cover these topics. Some of the courses will have sort of prerequisites, nutrition and psychology. Some of them, especially the level 5 and 6, require a little bit of pre-knowledge, so you have to have studied in advance, but that's only a very small number. Most of the courses are open to you. And a quick word on those as well. Most of the syllabus or syllabi have already been passed on to UArizona, so they will have been pre-approved for you before you need to arrive. So you don't need to worry that the credits that you're getting for the modules, whether they'll transfer, they've all been pre-approved. So you know that what you're studying actually will count towards your degree. So the last thing you want is to study something and it's actually no relevance to what your degree is, and you'll end up having to take more modules when you get home. So in order to avoid that, these have been pre-approved for you. And our credits are they're 20 per module, and the University of Arizona ones, are they 4 or 5? I'm sure somebody can confirm to me.
It's 5.
It's 5.
It's 5.
Thank you. Yeah, so our 20 credits are your 5 credits. You see like slight panic in my face then. I thought, oh my gosh, I should have double checked. Anyway, there's quite a wide variety of modules you can take. Another option you can do, which sadly we had to suspend for last year, but we're hoping to introduce it again in September, which is a study abroad and internship option. So if you're, for example, taking 3 modules, you can take 2 academic ones, and then the third one can be an internship. We do ask you to have, oh, hang on a minute. Have I got more coming? Oh no, they're chat, sorry. We do have an earlier deadline date for internships, and that's just to make sure that you have to fill in extra paperwork. So you'll be asked for maybe your resume, and then you can provide details of what your interests are. So the internships that we offer you will actually be relevant and of interest. So they're quite a wide range, as you can see here. They're sort of charities, businesses, sports clubs, etc. So you'll do 60 hours at a placement. So that will count as 1 module. So you, on successful completion of that, you will get the 20 credits, which will convert into 5 credits at home. And in terms of paperwork, you will need a different visa for the internship. So we've built in the extra month there for you when you apply, in order that you've got sufficient time to arrange the paperwork. It's a formality. I mean, it's not normally a problem, but it's just something that you need to do. You need to get your paperwork in order to do that. So sport and student life. So one of our students here last year enjoyed going to the gym and going to the ref, and then hanging out in the SU is the Students' Union, which is the entertainment really part of the university. There's a couple of bars on campus, and you are allowed to drink at 18 in the UK. I don't know if you're aware of that, but there you go. Don't let that be an incentive to you, but just so you're aware. And the ref, as well as all of the students who are on accommodate, who stay in our housing, eat in the ref. So it's a very sociable place. You get to meet lots of other students in there as well. Right, so we're, as well as teacher training, we're also very well known for sport. We're very proud of this, because in the last Olympics, 23 of our athletes competed, winning 9 medals. And if little old St Mary's was a country, then we'd be 25th in the ranking of the countries that were taking part in the Olympics. But you don't need to be an Olympic standard athlete to come here and enjoy. We've got links to a number of these organisations. I guess most of them probably don't mean a huge amount to you, but Chelsea Football Club is a big Premiership team here. These rugby clubs as well are the biggest teams in the country. We've got links with those, but let's just put that aside for a second. And the sports clubs are numerous, as you can see. You don't need to be, as I said, an Olympic athlete to join in. We would recommend that you look, if you like playing sport, to look at, joining one of these. You're only here for a semester and it'll go really quickly. But it'd be great to join and to meet other people, and then just have a little bit of fun. And if you're not so sporty, here are some other societies that you can join. They're run by students mainly, so they're very sociable societies. So join in if there's something that you want to give it a go. You're away from your home. This is a chance to try something different and not have to worry about it. So there we go. The Fishing Society, which is just here. I know that one of our students last year was finding it quite difficult to find his feet. He wasn't particularly sporty or anything, but he joins the Fishing Society, and they go on all sorts of trips and things. It's not all fishing. They go bowling. They have film nights. They do, their remit is quite wide. And they've also, it was started by an American student, and it's won the most charitable society in 2020 for their engagement with charity causes. So let's move back now onto campus for housing. We guarantee housing for study abroad students, providing that you apply by the deadline. The UArizona students, you stay in are in a block called Demerilac, which is at the bottom, which is located right at the very bottom of the running track. So it's bang in the middle of campus, really. So they're single rooms with private bathroom. So there are other options, but I think you tend to stay in Demerilac at your university. Oh, and there's you get lunch and dinner for as part of the package. That's for 7 days. You have to find your own lunch, but there's plenty of places locally. So let's look at COVID safety. We prioritise the safety of our students and staff in accordance with government guidance, which is why it's very difficult to monitor what's going to happen in September. What I can tell you, though, is the uptake of vaccinations in the UK is very high. The numbers of cases are very low. And in the borough where we're located, which is the London Borough of Richmond, the cases have always been really, really low. So in terms of safety, it's the safest place to be pretty much in the UK. So we'll provide a service, a student experience that's close to normal as possible. There's lots of social distancing measures, one-way systems, etc. Student accommodation is open and managed in line with current practices. And we'll also deliver as much in-person teaching as we possibly can. A quick word on self-isolation. I don't know whether American students will need to do this in September. However, the ones that had to do it last semester, it worked reasonably smoothly. It's quite boring being stuck in a room on your own, but we put everybody in touch on a WhatsApp group, advise people to turn up with iPads or laptops with some films on there and make sure that they can access Netflix, etc. There's also the orientation program was online as well. So we try to keep our students who are here as kind of active as possible and engaged with what was going on. 2 weeks sounds like a long time when you're going into it, but when it's over, it's over. You can really embrace the student experience. It's like going to the dentist, something you have to do. So you can study this for semester 1 or semester 2, which is the first one is mid-September to mid-December. Semester 2 is mid-January to late May. The term dates for September are on our website, if you want to look at them. The International Arrivals Day is unconfirmed yet, so please don't book any travel just yet until we confirm. That will depend on whether you'll need to self-isolate or not. So when you enroll, then you become part of the St Mary's student campus, student body. So you'll have a great time. And this is Brady. I think this is true probably for a lot of you. It'll be when you come to study abroad, if you come to study abroad at St Mary's, it'll be your first time travelling out of the United States. But he made lots of friends, and I think that smile says it all. This area here is just around the corner from Downing Street. So hopefully he did some, no, actually I'm not allowed to make any political statements about our lovely Prime Minister. And there you go. That's our campus. If you've got any questions or you need to rush off but you want to send me a question at another time, send me an email at studyabroad@stmarys.com. Oh no, .ac.uk, sorry, spreading lies already. And then you can maybe keep an eye on us on Instagram and Twitter. I think we've got some questions. What is the All Arts Society? Oh my goodness me, you're asking me about specific society. I'm afraid I don't know about all the specific societies. It's to do with the students. I mean, if you want me to find out, I can find out for you. But if you have a look on our online, there might be a little bit more information on there. If you live in the dorms, do students usually continue to pay for those months that you live out of the country? Are you talking about paying for dorms in Arizona now? Yes. Oh, that'll be a question for one of my colleagues in your home university, I guess.
I'm not the expert, but I believe they have to arrange that with the dorm. Like they have to communicate that out to the dorm and find out what the policies are.
Okay. Oh, hang on a minute, I've missed quite a lot here, look. Is there academics for sciences like physics or astronomy? Oh, Hannah, I'm really sorry, but physics, we were doing offering physics. We're teaching it out, which means that the only physics, I think there are 3 modules available for next year. I can't remember whether there's 1 in semester 1 and 2 in semester 2 or the other way around, but it's the very final year we are actually offering physics. So they're going to be level 6, which is the sort of the highest level, the final year. So that's the only option you've got really. And no, we don't do astronomy, I'm afraid. When will the spring details come out? Are you talking about modules there, Cosette? Because they should be online now, the modules for 2022. The psychology ones were missing because I was late in receiving them, but they should be up over the next few days. But if you need me to send you, if you need to see what they are, then I'm happy to send them just for psychology. But if you Google sort of St Mary's modules, then the list of the ones for semester 2, which is spring, should be on there.
I found those. Do you know when the dates will come out, or just like when the application will open for spring? Because I know it's all about fall right now, but
oh yes, sorry. Yes, it will be probably when the students for semester 1 arrive. So I would say probably early September.
okay.
And it's normally
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's normally open until kind of mid-November, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yes, you do have to apply directly to St Mary's, and you'll go through the process. So there's a specific level that you need to reach. Yes. But your study abroad advisor at home should be able to advise you on that. You don't need to provide things like references in most cases.
Rian, can I elaborate a bit on the application?
Yes.
So for the UA application, it's very straightforward. Like the information we ask is, it's not a competitive program. So if students complete everything they're required to complete in the application, answering questions, providing personal information, like, obviously, like what you not I don't mean personal, I shouldn't say that. I mean, like obviously your name, your email, like just very straightforward. The courses you'd like to take. So making sure you have a US passport if you are a US citizen. So the application for the UA part of it is very straightforward. Like there is nothing complicated truly about it. It's just compliance, getting the application in before the deadline and making sure it's complete. And then there will also be a separate St. Mary's link within our application where you will fill out information for the St. Mary's part of it. So it's not intended to deter you or to make you feel like it's competitive and that if you don't, you might not get in. Like if you're compliant and you answer all the questions, do everything you should do by the deadlines, you're in. Like we want you to study abroad. We are excited about you studying abroad, and we will do, what we need to do in order for you to study abroad as much as we can help you. So just know that it's not a complicated process at all, and we're here to help and answer questions.
Yes, they should be, which is so what I'll read the question out. Sorry, I should have done this earlier. I don't think you can see what the question is. So Abhinav asked, will the credits earned at St Mary's be automatically transferred to the U of A degree? They will, but you need to make sure that they are pre-approved before you come, to make sure that the credits that you earn count towards your degree. If that makes sense.
So may I expand on that as well?
Yes, of course you can.
So for that piece, you will work with your academic advisor to see how the courses you'd like to take at St. Mary's will apply to your degree. And so it's just communicating with your advisor, getting that approved. And then we manage the transcripts coming to the U of A, posting to your U Access, and transferring for you. So we manage all of that on the back end. So it's not anything you need to worry about or, watch or follow. So we will take care of all of that.
You just need to work hard and pass the modules.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's
Too much fun. Is anybody? I mean, I might just, while we're talking about academics, there is a sort of slight difference in the way you'll be taught in the UK. So I think that is, and it's not meant to test you. It's not meant to trick you or anything, but it's a really good way of looking, of studying at a different country, and the approach is different. You'll be working with some great teachers, but the approach, you'll see a difference between the approach between the American and the UK system. And it's, I think a lot of students really enjoyed that, the mixing up of the different approach. And it's not harder, it's not easier, it's just different. And not just the accent, and obviously we call them mobile and that kind of thing. So all of these little things you'll have to take into account. Has anybody else got any questions?
Rhian, I think I see a student with their hand raised. Alexis, do you have a question?
Yes.
So, sorry, Alexis.
That's all right. So I just had a question. So are you pretty confident from, I guess, the St. Mary's standpoint that the fall 2021 program is going to, I guess, happen? It's been kind of a difficult year, I guess, from the U of A standpoint. You don't want to get your hopes up about like our classes or anything. So it's kind of, hard to get excited about something if you don't know, like, if it's for sure going to happen or something. So what do you have to say in regards to that?
Yes, well, I mean, I am as confident as I can be in the middle of a pandemic, put it that way. We are starting, we've been online teaching for the last, since January, really. But we're starting in-person teaching again, I think within the next 2 or 3 weeks. Now that doesn't really, might have no bearing at all on what happens in September. However, because we are vaccinating a lot of adults, we're also, the numbers are low. We're still in lockdown here in the UK, by the way. We are, shops, cinemas, theatres, everything is still shut. But as a result of that, they're starting to open next week because the numbers have really gone down. So they've actually gone quite tough, really, as to make sure that we keep a control of this pandemic. So restaurants and things are opening next week, and by the summer, everything will be open again. Now, September, it depends on if the numbers remain as they are now, then you'll be absolutely fine. It'll be the only difference you'll see, probably, we'll still be maintaining some social distancing, and you probably still have to wear a mask in public, or indoors rather. But I'm as confident as I can be, but unfortunately I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't promise. But we are absolutely desperate to see you guys on campus. It's been quiet without you, and it's, you're young, you need to have adventures, and you need to come to the UK to have those adventures. And yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic. But apply, look forward to it, but don't buy your plane ticket just yet, is my advice to you. I'm sorry, I can't give you other guarantees, Alexis. Or anybody else either. But the signs are good. The signs are good, let's put it that way. Are you encouraged to get vaccinated before? It's not a prerequisite for the UK. If you feel, I've been vaccinated, and I feel a lot more confident now having been vaccinated. So it's a personal choice. Being vaccinated is I think it's a good idea, but it's totally up to you. You may be required to take some tests or whatever when you arrive, but it's not a prerequisite, put it that way, vaccinations. Oh, sorry, I should have asked. I keep forgetting to read out the questions. So hopefully you can all start applying. If you have any questions that you want to ask me, you can ask, or you can go via your study abroad office at her, in your home, Arizona, or you can email me. Either way, I have meetings every couple of weeks with Veronica and Mariah and the team in Arizona. So we keep in close touch. So any questions that you want to ask them and they can't answer, come to me. And if anything that I can't answer, and then I'll refer back to them. So okay, Ryan's asking, did you mention there was a public transit pass that students could purchase? Yes, it's called a travel card. This is for traveling in London, and you can buy them on a daily rate. So you just buy it in the train station, and then you can spend the day just traveling around on buses, trains, and the underground. And you don't have to pay any extra for that. If you want to travel by train around the UK, you can buy a student rail card. And that costs, I believe, about £30, which, I don't know what the exchange rate is at the moment. Is it about $50, something like that, maybe slightly less? And that gives you 30% off train fares. So if you're thinking of traveling further afield, if you want to go up to, I don't know, if you're a Beatles fan, for example, and you want to go to Liverpool, or if you want to go up to Scotland, I would recommend you get the rail card. But yeah, the public transport, the transit pass, you can just buy in a train station. You don't have to buy it in advance. It is I think it's about £15, which is $22, something like that. And that's for a whole day. So get up in the morning, jump on a train at 9 o'clock, and you can come home on at midnight, and you've made the best of your day. Shall we call it a day? Does anybody else want to add anything? I can see Mariah.
Just like to thank everyone for.
Thank you all for coming. Yes. I hope it's given you a little bit of taste of life in St Mary's, and we're very proud of our campus. Yeah, and London is one of the best cities in the world. So the best city in the world. Yeah. So yeah, please come. Right. I guess I'll see you next. What day are we? No, in a couple of weeks then, Brian and Veronica.
Thank you so much. And thank you to all the students for participating and asking questions, and please feel free to reach out to us. It's just exciting to know that this is happening again. Study abroad is on the horizon.
Yes, we look forward to seeing you all.
Thank you so
much. All right,
much.
okay, no problem.
Bye.
See you soon, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.